Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Last night, the Nebraska women's soccer team defeated Kansas City 5-1 in their first exhibition game. Abby Schwartz had 2 goals, Sarah Weber, Florence Belzile, and Abby Vosick each added a goal in the win. The Huskers travel to Oklahoma for a Friday night exhibition against the Sooners later this week. Plenty of Olympics news and notes for today. Let's start with news concerning former Huskers. The U.S. women's volleyball team swept Poland to advance to the semifinals today. Jordan Larson had 3 kills and a block. Kelsey Robinson-Cook added a kill, and Justine Wongarantes added 14 digs. In men's basketball, Australia fell to Serbia 95-90 in overtime, despite a solid game from Jack McVeigh. McVeigh had 13 points on 5 of 8 shooting, including 3 for 5 from three-point range, to go along with 2 rebounds and 2 assists in 30 minutes. The U.S. women's soccer team defeated Germany 1-0 in extra time today to advance to the gold medal game on Saturday against Brazil. U.S. sprinter Gabby Thomas took home the gold medal today in the 200 meters with a time of 21.83 seconds, and American underdog Cole Hawker won gold in the 1500-meter race today. And finally, the U.S. men's basketball team defeated Brazil 122-87 to advance to the semifinals, where they will play Serbia. Devin Booker led the team with 18 points, and Anthony Edwards had 17 points off the bench. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call a timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and trained with staffed counselors ready to listen and provide support. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Heinrich gonna step in back, little G belly action. As a man wide open, it's Jalen Lloyd. The throw, he makes a catch. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Nebraska serving specialist Kennedy sends it over Vasquez Gomez. Perfect pass, set it up. Fairbanks diving, take Laney Choboy. Bumps it left Nebraska. Harper and nearly drops. Free ball back. Oh, a block back by Becca, and that nearly drops. And a free ball finally over, block back by Becker, and it does. Becca Alec, she's putting on a blocking clinic. They can't get it over.
Bryce Williams puts his head down, cut off by good defense by Mbako. Now up top it comes to Mast. Mast dribbles once, gives it back to Williams, shoots a 3 on the way. Got it again! Another 3. Williams on fire.
Jazz Shelley, who has electrified this crowd. She'll take a 28-footer. You betcha! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She ends the first quarter in triple style.
Ball's and a strike here on Gabe Swanson, the pitch. Hit pretty well towards left center field. Going back on it is Graves. Graves at the wall, and it's gone again! Swanson's gone deep again! Gabe with his second solo shot of the game.
Billy swings and crushes this one to the moon. Left center and gone. No doubt on that one. 3-1 Nebraska.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Suddenly refreshed with 75-degree temperatures today. A little bounce in our step after the 100-degree days the last couple days. Did you enjoy the little crisper weather out there, Jess?
I did. I wasn't ready for it. You know, I thought it was going to be 105 again, and so I got ready and stepped outside. I was like, whoa, what is this? But it was nice. I know the football team appreciated it, too, even though we've heard them say you like the heat right now. But I bet it was a nice change of pace for a day. Is it supposed to stay?
Well, it's going to be 85 tomorrow, so about 10 degrees warmer than today, but nothing. I don't think we hit 90 in the extended forecast, so that's pretty good. It'll be back. We'll get another wave in mid to late August, but we'll soak this up right now. Well, I've always said that when you're in football training camp, it's never a good sign when the head coach walks up to the podium when he's not supposed to be coming up to the podium. Well, that happened today. And some tough news for Teddy Prohaska and Roger Gradney, both out with knee injuries. I'll just let the coach here deliver the news.
Roger obviously fell the other night, as you guys saw, was carted off, tore his ACL, out for the year. And Teddy yesterday, Prohaska, unfortunately tore his ACL as well. So not the same surgical knee, tore the other knee. So, obviously our heart breaks for both of them. But certainly Teddy now, this is, going on 4 surgeries for him. A really difficult time for him. So he was right there in the team meeting last night with an unbelievable attitude. He embodies everything we believe in, embodies what's next. He'll be a great mentor for Roger, but unfortunate. So.
Oh, just devastating. What was his, because he's had the 4 surgeries, he had the one knee. What were the other 2? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember. I would probably say it wrong, so I better not say anything, because I probably wouldn't have it right.
A labrum? Was it a labrum?
I know this is the other knee. It wasn't the same knee that he blew out before. It is the other knee.
It happens a lot. I don't know what the statistics are now with the change of and the advancements in medical, but I just know when I tore my first ACL, the doctor told me there's a 90% chance you're going to tear the other one. It just sometimes happens like that where, you get one fixed, and even though it's good to go, there's something about it that it just sets you up for the statistics. A lot of times people face that, unfortunately. Hate it for Teddy because, he was able to finish last season and ended up coming on strong, and then he's in this battle, and you feel good that you have 1 and 2, Teddy and Turner there, and now you're down without Teddy, and but you just more than anything hate it for Teddy. I will say, echoing what Coach Rule said there about him being in the meeting room and just embodies everything that this culture is about. Everybody in that O-line room is about that, and we saw that last year with Ethan Piper. He's in a wheelchair, basically getting wheeled around to be able to be there on the sideline. Turner was the same way, right there every step of the way, and so. Even though I'm sure, is just absolutely devastated, he's going to do whatever he can do to still be a part. And, hey, probably going to have those younger freshmen rotate in and take some snaps and some opportunities. So you better believe that Teddy's going to be there helping along the way.
Yeah, that's a perfect segue into the next response. Is Turner the next man up? Here's the coach.
Yeah, we have lots of guys we trust. We'll play with Turner. He started a lot of games last year before he got hurt. We have other options. Gunnar Gatula's running with the ones thumbs right now. So we have guys that we believe in, so we'll play them.
I'll just segue, Jess, into the final cut from Coach here. He was asked, how has Turner come back? As you referenced at the end of last season, Turner was on the sidelines in street clothes and trying to rehab himself and didn't do much. He did some in spring practice. I think he was out there a little bit in spring practice. But is he totally back? Here's the coach.
Yeah, he got stepped on in the scrimmage the other night, kind of rolled his ankle a little bit. But he's been doing a nice job since he came back. So really all summer he's been full go and active.
Coach Raiola said that too. Just he came back and was doing everything right. It just is going to be a process to get him back into game speed and game shape. But hey, he's been there, he's done it. He's a veteran guy. He's played a lot of snaps for this football program. So, and alongside the guys on that line, that's another big part of. They talk about the chemistry and the trust within a O-line unit, and it's not just about one guy coming in there, it's about the unit. And so the fact that Turner already has that rapport with a lot of those guys that he's going to be running out there with is also good. But yeah, you got to look, it's inevitable. We're going to need to see another tackle, right? Probably at some point or another, and even if it's just coming in to spell sometimes. So we'll see who the guys step up behind Bryce and Turner are throughout fall camp. But, we were chatting, and tackle's just not one of the deeper positions. They've done well about building the numbers and building the depth in that O-line room, but tackle is, I know, still a position that they want to continue to build that depth on. And so they got some young guys in there, next man up. That's what they say a lot. It's next man up, and how do you embrace these opportunities? And you're going to get, 3 full weeks now of fall camp to really get to step into those opportunities and grow in those opportunities.
As Coach said, the Roger Gradney injury happened Saturday at that practice for 1890. Teddy's happened Monday. He said just kind of a simple drill, rolled it over. They didn't think it was that serious at first, and then obviously once they did the scope, they found out that it was, and he's out for the rest of the season. Roger can at least have a redshirt year, so that's good for him. But boy, your heart just bleeds for Teddy. Same thing with Thomas Fedoni a couple years ago. Both knees went out on him, and you're exactly right. You lose one ACL on one side of your leg, you're probably going to lose the other one. It's just kind of the law of averages. The boy just stinks, and I can't imagine what's going through Teddy's mind tonight. It's got to be really, really low moment for him.
Yeah, but, he's just such a good guy. A lot of these players are, but he's got a good head on his shoulders. I think, as devastating as it is, the unfortunately fortunate part is he has been through it before, so he knows what he's about to face. A lot of times, yes, it's devastating, but you actually, the next time around, you know what to expect, you know how to attack it. So, hopefully he's looking at it in that way, and we'll be able to go into it and come out stronger for it on the other end. But yeah, absolutely devastating for him. Rogers happened when they were working on special teams, so it appeared to me, again, I was running around and didn't get a chance to really hone in, but it appeared that he was getting some reps on special teams. So, that's, again, unfortunate as you're trying to figure out what guys are going to play certain roles, and maybe that was an opportunity that he might have played or contributed to at some point. But, as you mentioned, can get a redshirt year. And, now that they are going to do it together, hopefully Teddy can help Roger through it, as Coach Roll said.
Yeah. Fedoni, another one. Allison Widener, has she had multiple injuries too on the women's basketball team or not?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And
so,
I think Searle's same thing. It just is. Again, the statistics have probably changed over the years, but it's still a large statistic. I would imagine that when one goes, it's just, a lot of times it's just a matter of time before the other one goes. And I don't know why that is, but, I just was told, I know from my experience, I was told, hey, you're probably going to tear the other one. And sure enough, I tore the other one. So but then since then, I haven't had any issues, so, and that's a lot of times what happens too, is you get them both fixed, and then you tend to not have many issues after that. So hopefully that's the case. But yeah, it's weird, and I don't know why those statistics are the way that they are, but it just seems to happen a lot to athletes that tear one ACL. I mean, look at Kennedy Williams, she had the same thing happen to her. So we've seen it a lot recently around here, but it's across college sports. It just is an unfortunate injury that unfortunately leads to typically another one.
Right. And that's 4 Husker athletes we've named right off the top of our head that's happened to here recently. All right, here's what we have on the program tonight. Terrence Knighton and John Butler met with the media today. John, the new defensive backs coach, will play some of the highlights of their press gathering today. Volleyball Media Day, Part 2 today in Chicago. The Huskers went. We'll play you some clips from John Cook as he met with the media up in the Windy City. The Huskers, the preseason pick to win the league after playing in the national championship game a year ago. And a Husker that is back from an injury last spring, DeShon Singleton. We're going to hear from him as well. Jessica caught up with him after practice today. And we want your input, as always, 402-413-2400. That is our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. They are your trusted auto partner, 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Go visit us online at woodhouse.com. Back with more of the show coming up next.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See shelter agent Jeff Brandt in Hastings or Collie Schilke in Imperial today.
Set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TL Irrigation are like no other.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
We're back, Sports Nightly, here on a Tuesday night. I hope you had a great day today. After practice for the Huskers, we heard from defensive line coach Terrence Knighton and then new defensive backs coach John Butler. We're going to recap both of those in tonight's, sorry about this, Camden, practice report.
It's time for the Nebraska football practice report.
Getting out of boot camp and getting to football is probably exciting for them, but also relief because I know a lot of these guys, the guys that came back, they came back because they want to get to the season.
And we'll start up front with the big boys. Pot roast. Terrence Knighton went first today and said he loves the competition going on in his room for the first week of practice.
Yeah, a lot of competition in the room. You got young guys like Ashton and Keona who are getting better each day. Young guys that played last year, Cam, Riley, they're taking the next step. James Williams, Kai Wallen, Dylan Parrott, who moved over to the D-line, is flashing right now. We just got a bunch of guys who are just playing well. And, it's going to be a tough decision to make at the end of the day. But, like I said, before, we want 8, 9, 10 guys that can go out there and play at starter levels. And right now, everybody's battling for those positions.
I don't think enough is said about how he gets the guys in his room to be okay with that, with the amount of competition there is, because, not only does he develop the players and get them ready to play, but then also they have bought into how he does things and the fact that they're embracing, hey, we need 8, 9, 10 guys to be able to run out there and do what we want to do. So they're embracing being part of that as opposed to saying, well, I want more reps. I want to be the starter. They are all understanding their roles. And so that also speaks to me. I mean, just as much of how great of a coach that Terrence Knighton is that he can develop, but also that he gets those guys to be okay with, that kind of situation and having that kind of competition.
Well, we saw him last year, not afraid to play young guys with Prince Will and Cam right out of the gate. And Rodney Van Poppel started to work his way in the rotation as the season went along. A young guy that's caught some early eyes and did at the 1890 practice the other night. And Terrence just mentioned him as Kiana Davis, defensive lineman out of Tucson, kind of a late, one of those sneaky additions to this class you didn't think a whole lot about, but he's raising some eyebrows. Here's Terrence Knighton telling us more about Kiana.
Athletic, physical, has the right mindset. He's a humble kid. Comes from a great family, doesn't ask for anything, just lines up and plays. You know what I mean? And, he's starting to develop his personality around the group and starting to come into himself and be comfortable around the guys. And, like I always tell the young guys, man, the easiest way to go out there and play as a freshman is to know what you're doing and play hard. And that's what he's focusing on doing. And he's doing a great job with his nutrition. He's 270 pounds. And, he looks great, and, he's just a guy that, I have high expectations for myself and the rest of the staff. And, you just keep pushing each day, taking it a day at a time. And like I said, he's just been, he's been a sponge, to those older guys, with Kristen, Corey, just doing everything he can to help out.
He is a big guy, 6'5", 255, and they came back to Terrence later and said, all right, how much bigger can he get? He goes, I think he may end up looking like 93 in our weight room, in Ndamukong Suh. So,
wow.
I mean, throwing that out there right away. But this is a guy, don't be shocked when we play on August 31st. You see 97 Kiana Davis out on the field for this team. I think he might bust his way into the two deep. And that's not a name we've mentioned all summer. Jess, is somebody like that. It's crazy, isn't it?
Hey, at this point, I think we should learn our lesson that don't count out anybody in Terrence Knighton's room, because how many guys it was all throughout the season. Well, who's James Williams? Where did he come from? It was like, it seemed like every week that somebody else was added to the mix. And so as he just said about, these young guys and figuring out their roles, and just, hey, if you keep doing what you're supposed to do, they're going to give you an opportunity. And that was big. I mean, Nash has talked about it. Ty has talked about it, just being able to save their bodies and not play as many snaps as they have in the past, how big that was, how good they felt towards the end of the season. And so, and this coaching staff is every single person that's got up to the mic has talked about an extended season and how they want to be there. And so if that's going to be the case, then you got to have a lot of bodies. And so, yeah, hey, I'm not counting out anybody in Terrence Knighton's room at this point. He can have anybody ready to go.
You're right. We should have learned that last year in droves. Okay, two guys that have gained some weight, Jamari Butler, Cam Lenhart, have put on some weight. Terrence was asked about that, and how has that impacted their play?
Right, it just allows them to be stouter, stronger, more explosive, and, it's not like we told them to go order 10 pizzas, right? They were in the weight room, right? They're doing exactly what Kristen told them to do. They're eating the right things, and, they're stronger. And those are two guys, during the break, didn't go anywhere. They stayed here and worked out. We do yoga once a week as a group, so those guys have taken their body serious, and they're doing the right things. And, the stronger they are, the more explosive they are, the better we are. And, those two are two special individuals, and they're going out there competing every day.
Greg, I feel like it's been so fascinating talking to a few of these guys that have put on the weight, and even like Emmett the other day that talked about how it felt different when he went out there at first with 10 extra pounds of muscle. But there's a science to it, and it's not just, like he said, it's not just, hey, eat a bunch of food. They're going about it the right way. It's a process, and so that they can maintain it and not just lose it as soon as you get out here in fall camp and it's hot and you're sweating and you're not eating as much. I mean, and just being able to maintain the explosiveness. A guy like Jamari Butler, you want to make sure that you maintain that. And so it is a science to it, and there's a reason Corey and Kristen are two of the best in the biz, and what they've been able to do with this group going into this fall camp.
I mean, Jamari's got a real chance to lead the team in sacks.
Yeah.
He does. He's got that kind of ability, and I think that's kind of the expectation is for Jamari to do that. All right, we'll go from the defensive line to the secondary. John Butler just hired about 30 days ago as the new DB's coach. He was asked by the media today, what's been the biggest challenge for you to get up to speed in such a short amount of time?
I don't know if there's been challenges as much as it's like I just said to myself when I got here, it was like, don't worry about like when I got here on the 7th, don't worry about training camp. Like, let's just spend as much of the time today learning Tony's defense, then learning these players, and then, figuring out this program and how, like the ins and outs of it. And each day, obviously, that you do something, and when you work as hard as we do, and if you're smart enough to handle change and be able to process things, each day gets better. So, if I sat around all day long, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do here? All I do is focus on the work, focus on the people, and focus on my experience. Thankfully, I'm, 30 years of doing this. This isn't my first rodeo. So, really just focusing and taking that day-to-day approach and relying on my experience and then relying on the staff and the people that are here to kind of give me a guide and then me getting to work and doing what I do best.
You could tell he's got a lot of experience just talking with him and then listening to his press conference today. That's a guy that's coached a lot of football and has been at all levels and knows how to handle all the things thrown at him. But yeah, I couldn't imagine, but how many people could handle that situation as good as he has? It's almost like, it's, as unfortunate as the situation was, could you have found a better fit than Coach Butler and how he's been able to navigate it and approach being a part of this defensive staff? I was really impressed with him today.
A lot of energy, and we heard that from several of the coaches before we had a chance to be introduced to Coach Butler. He mentioned Tony White's defense. That's that 3-3-5 we've heard so much about. His thoughts about now coaching in a 3-3-5.
Yeah, so in the 30 years that I've coached in like a traditional 4-3. I've coached in a 3-4, in Houston and like basically the Patriots style defense. And then for the last 6 years, I coached in really a nickel 4-2-5. That's they're the three main ones. And then you get this one that's so unique. The thing that I love about it is just the versatility and the flexibility that it provides you as a defensive coach to come up with solutions and answers. And then obviously as a DB coach, you got 5 DBs out there. So selfishly, you're developing, almost half of the defense is in your room, And obviously the more DBs you play, the more flexibility there is with coverage principles and, things you can do that way. So it's been great. I think one of the key things in life, especially as an older guy, I used to be one of the young coaches, now I'm one of the older ones, is like something new is something that inspires you, something that motivates you a little bit to learn and to really develop. And so when I came here, it was all about just, I'm going to learn this defense and keep my mouth shut and really try to figure out what's going on, how the pieces of the puzzle work. And then when time comes, based on things I've done in the past, I can interject with Tony in our conversations about how maybe I can help it. But right now, it's really about me learning it, teaching it, refining it, and that's really it.
Yeah, he talked with me a lot about that, about the learning and wanting to continue to better yourself and, never being satisfied with where you're at. Doesn't that sound familiar? It's a lot of what this whole staff's philosophy is, continuing to push and get better and learn. And we've heard Coach Roll say that a lot about wanting to continue and to learn. So he thinks the world of Tony White, too, and has really enjoyed working with him. And so I think, I just go back to how he's approaching it and he's learning it, and then he'll add his tweaks when he can. But it seems to be just a really great fit for what he can provide to this defense.
It's been about a decade since he's coached in college football. Penn State was one of his last stops in college. He's coached at Texas, some other big places as well. But he's been in the NFL since that point in time. He got asked today, are you starting to see NFL football and college football get closer together? Here's his comment.
Yeah, so it was 10 years ago. I coached in the NFL for 10 years, and then it's a drastic difference as far as support staff. And obviously at a very unique place like Nebraska, like not everybody has the benefit of truly having a 120-man roster. When I coached at Minnesota, I think we were at 100. Maybe, Penn State, you're probably close to that. So the volume, you need those assistants. But obviously what you got to get good at is you got to get good at, organizing your staff, so to speak. You almost have your own staff, and you making sure that they're supporting the message of Tony and supporting the message of the head coach and obviously coaching it the way we want it coached.
But that just allows you to have, 3 other quality coaches, whether it's Adam, Rashawn, or Tariq. They're all working with these guys, and I mean they're invested in them too. So we're helping those guys, develop as coaches. But while they're doing that, they're helping. A lot of them are really focused on the younger players. So it becomes like your development staff.
It's definitely been a good change for sure, as we've talked a lot about, and we've had Searles on and how good of a change it's been. Just the more people that are out there developing and coaching, so that some of the staff can really focus on those 1s and 2s, but then you still are having those eyeballs and time spent with those younger players, that you're still developing them as quickly as you can to be able to get them ready. So certainly a good change there. Are you playing the clip where he talked about getting to know the guys?
I did not. No, I'm not. That was it.
I love what he said about, he didn't really want to have any preconceived notions going into it when he got on the field. He wanted to have his own eye for it and get his own feel for these players and what they bring. And so I also like that approach too, that he wanted to be able to form his own opinions and not have anything that he already had in his mind about any of the guys, so that he can truly evaluate and see where these guys are. So it's going to be fun to watch, to see how he works with those defensive backs. I can't wait to get on the sideline and listen in on some of those huddles and see how he coaches them up. But it's also been where you talk to some of these defensive backs, how they talk about how he's brought that pro mentality to the room and just how to go about it, and which is what a lot of the staff has already done. So it's been a seamless, I think, transition in that regard of, hey, these are the expectations. But it is pretty funny to think about how far college football has come since really in the last 10 years, and even in the last 5 years, how far it's come since he was coaching in college football.
And the biggest thing is on those on-field assistants that now can help you out, which you couldn't do that up until even a year ago for that. He got asked about 2 players, Tommy Hill and Gifford, and he said of Isaac, he goes, well, when I think of a Nebraska Cornhuskers, I think of that guy. That's the guy. I mean, all out, give it your all, fight till the end. And he goes, Tommy Hill looks like the guys that I just was coaching last year in Buffalo.
Wow.
He's got that kind of a body, athletic ability. He goes, he looks like a pro. Now, can we get him there? He goes, that's my job to get him there. But those are the 2 players he got asked about individually. And so those are obviously 2 guys in his rooms. I think what a wonderful addition to the staff. And you talk about kind of a late find. I mean, you make contact with him in the last day of June or whatever, and he doesn't get here until July the 7th. That's just amazing. And it points out how deep the pool is for Matt Rule and guys that he knows around football. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. The circumstances were so unfortunate. The fact that you land a guy like John Butler to come in, and it just, remarkable. And that was another thing that he talks a lot about with me today, is just the respect and admiration that he's had for Coach Rule for several years, and watching his career and knowing, how he does things, how he could be a part of that, wanted to be a part of that. And so Coach Rule is definitely a relationship guy. You hear it over and over again across college football on all different levels. Think about the high school coaches in Texas that still want him to come back every year, and that he has those relationships with, that a lot of them want to send their players to play for him. And so, he's a relationship guy, and it continues, I think, he continues to reap the benefits of being one that invests in those relationships, because, hey, like you said, here's a guy that I don't know if he goes to coach for just anybody, in the situation that he was in.
Yeah. He said he was kind of enjoying the life away from football. I said, now if a camp opened, he goes, I might have felt differently, but he goes, I'm content doing my thing, thinking I'm out of it for at least 6 more months. And he said, then the phone rings, and everything changed. But it's good to have him here. Jess did have a sit-down chance with him. We'll have that for you tomorrow night on the program. All right, 402-413-2400. That's the number if you want to be a part of the show here on a Tuesday night. We're back with more of the show next.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Husker fans, the 2024 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need your support in Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $170. This plan includes tickets to UTEP or Northern Iowa, plus Illinois or Rutgers, and either UCLA or Wisconsin. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln. Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TL Irrigation are like no other.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Joe Methy in Kearney, Jackie Rowan in Lexington, or Megan Fales in Cozad today.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Akrs Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Tuesday night. Camden had this in the ticker, but what a start for John Walker's soccer squad. A 5-1 win last night over the Kangaroos of Kansas City. They'll be traveling to Norman to have an exhibition with the Sooners later in the week, but I like that. Showed some firepower offensively, held the Roos to just one goal, and that came very late in the match. It's a good start.
Yeah, absolutely. It's wild to think that they're already doing preseason games and then one more, and then it's time to start the season. But, I mean, I've been saying it. I think that team's got a lot of talent. They've got the experience coming back from that Elite Eight run a year ago and winning the Big Ten title in the regular season. They did a lot of the intro video and hype video shoots, and they had their rings, and so that was cool to see. So you got a lot of veterans coming back that understand, hey, what it takes to be able to compete and extend a season. And so I'm excited about the group. I can't wait to see who's going to step up and feel some of the shoes. I don't know if one person can do it of Eleanor Dale, but you got an elite player in Sarah Weber, and then some of those young players that are going to be able to have an opportunity to really step into a bigger scoring role. But I think that it's going to be a fun season again for them.
Camden mentioned that Team USA, the women's soccer team, beat Germany in extra time 1-0. So they're in the gold medal match. They'll play on Saturday in the gold medal match. The United States now 86 total medals, China at 59, a big gap now in the total medals. And the United States has now overtaken China in the golds, 24-22. I know you were pretty busy today doing interviews. Did you get to watch much during the day today?
I did not watch any of the volleyball. They were Cassidy was watching and giving us updates, but so when I left, the last I saw, I think United States was trailing in that first set, and they came back and won, or were they always leading? Maybe I read the score wrong.
I tuned it in mid-first. I think they were ahead pretty good early in the match.
So, yeah, and then it seemed to be over quickly, so they took care of business pretty easily. They're hitting their stride there in Paris, and I watched some of the track. I watched Gabby win the gold at the 200. That was... she wasn't even, there was no doubt with her. And let's see, what else did I think that was about it that I got a chance to check in on today.
U.S. women's soccer will play Brazil Saturday about 10 a.m., I think, our time, for the gold medal match over in Paris. So good luck for them doing that. Men's basketball, pretty easy winner in the quarterfinals today. They disposed of Brazil. They will now face Germany in the semifinals of the Olympic tournament. The women are back on the court tomorrow. Just love all the track. We've had some terrific United States performances on the track. A lot of big records being set. Incredible relays. Just the track and field has been really, really well done. Highlighted by what we talked about last time. That was that 100-meter race. That thing was unbelievable a couple days ago over in Paris. But these things are starting to wind down a little bit. I'm going to be sad. Next week I'll be kind of going through withdrawal symptoms with nothing on during the day.
I know. I think this has been the most that I've been able to stay locked in just because of the time difference, and that, you know, I can get up in the morning and watch while I'm doing other things, or, you know, watch in between things, check in on things. So, yeah, I'm going to, I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, football better get here pretty soon, so we have more to watch. But it's been fun. It's been a fun Olympics. And I have liked how they have provided it to be all the time, all access, and they're not restricting it. And so I saw someone tweeted, the Olympics are made for streaming. And they really are, with as many sports and even obscure sports that there are, to be able to tune in and watch all of them. It's been great.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's meant for Peacock and some of those things to be able to do that, because you can pick and choose when you want to watch. You can have it at your desk if you're at work and your boss allows that. I don't want to get anybody in trouble with their boss, but yeah, and you cannot compensate with the 7-hour time difference. A lot of people, though, will try to boycott the news during the day and go home and watch the primetime coverage. That's great. That's fine. You better not listen to shows like this, because we'll spoil it for you. But, you know, I think you have to try to make all those things live, and they have. And I think it's paid off big time for NBC. I think they've come out of this pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, they put a lot into it, and they've invested a lot into it. But the ratings have been massive, even during the day. And I wonder how many people... I'm sure it will come out how many new subscribers they got to Peacock out of the deal, too, you know?
Yeah. It'll come out.
Yeah, so in this day and age when you're pushing to, hey, subscribe to the Peacock, well, why do I want to do that? Well, this is the prime example. But, you know, I think, didn't we have somebody text in the other day that they've got a good deal going on right now? So there's going to be more and more sporting events on Peacock and Paramount Plus. So I cut cable a while ago, so I've been subscribed to both of those, and I like Peacock a lot.
They're going to have a lot of Big Ten stuff, right? I mean, last year they had some football and some basketball. They're going to expand out and do more sports this year. So follow the Huskers, and you can sit there and go, well, I got BTN Plus. Yeah, I know, but there's going to be some events that are just for Peacock subscribers, so you need to think about that as you do your budget and figure out where you want to put your TV dollars. I mean, that's the one thing, and the industry knows it, Jess. sports fans are gullible. We've got to see it. We have to have it. And so we'll pay what we need to get BTN Plus or Peacock or Paramount Plus, if that's the case, if that's a streaming service that has something you want. So they kind of have us. They know we're so passionate about our teams and stuff that we will pay to get access to watch our favorite teams and players and athletes.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Because it's the one thing you cannot, I mean, unless you're my dad, you can't stay away from. If there's drama happening in a sporting event, it's everywhere, right? It's all over your social media. It's trending on. You cannot avoid spoilers a lot of times with live sports. And so, and then it's just not the same when you go back and watch it. You want to be in on the live action. So it's the one thing that, you can, as much as things have changed in terms of commercials and DVRing and fast forwarding, it's the one really, TV type broadcast that you want to stay locked in on live. And absolutely, I'm a sucker for that too. ESPN Plus, Big Ten Plus, Paramount Plus, all of them. I got them all. So, and a lot of that is so that I can watch all those sports.
Very good. All right, 402-413-2400. The number if you want to be a part of the program. We're back to do our last segment of Hour 1 next.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting Major Macy Byers with Campus News. A surgical robot developed by UNL professor Shane Ferreter has received FDA approval, paving the way for greater access to advanced medical procedures in rural areas. The FDA approval followed a successful test of the robot aboard the International Space Station in February. The test involved months of preparation for UNL faculty and students working in close collaboration with NASA to launch and deliver the robot.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner, 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Tuesday night, 402-413-2400. A couple of texts to pick off here. Stephen Bellevue says, my mom is 90. She will be glad when the Olympics are over. She has not seen Jeopardy since the games started, and she is not a happy camper.
That is awesome.
Isn't that great?
That's
and
great.
Brian in York is challenging you here, Jess. He said Jessica Coody must have had a quack doctor for him to say there's a 90% chance if you tear one ACL, you'll tear the other. There are several studies out there that state you have anywhere from an 8 to 30% chance only of tearing it in your other knee.
Yeah, well, first of all, like I said, I mentioned this when I was talking about it. Mine happened a long time ago, so there have been advancements, and also I did have a little bit of a quack doctor the first time, so that's why I went to a different one the second time. But you know, there's no doubt the statistics are there. You know, we just named off and rattled off a lot of them, and there's a chance that you can do it when you tear one. So yeah, I mean, 90 probably was a little high, but it certainly is a higher statistic. And I think even with women, it might be a little bit more, and probably was more back then too, and before the changes have been made. But there's been advancements in technology, which is what I said. And so, yeah, that's what I have to say about that. We sat there and listed. We listed several people that had the same issue,
We've named off 5 Husker athletes. My guess is the percentage among high-caliber athletes, college athletes, would be higher than the general public. Joe Schmo, who's playing softball on a Monday night, and he tears his ACL. Yeah, he probably won't tear his other one the rest of his life because he's probably not going to be that active again. But if you're a high-caliber athlete, college or pro, I bet the odds are way higher than that because you go back to putting the same kind of pounding on your body, and you favor the other side a little bit because you're still gimpy and mentally gimpy by the one that you did tear. So I bet there's a difference between the general public's numbers and high-caliber athletes like college athletes.
Right, and the different sports, too. I mean, there's probably different statistics in terms of the footballs and then maybe the other types of sports and the contact and all of that. And basketball certainly has high ACL tear rates. So, I mean, I was throwing out a generalization. I wasn't saying, hey, it's 90%, but I mean, it's definitely high. It's been there. We've seen it. Unfortunately, it's something that seems to happen a lot, and it happened to me. So I can only speak from my experience. But to your point, yes, I did have a little bit of a questionable. It wasn't a great experience. Didn't have a great. I had some issues after that surgery, so that's why I went to a sports orthopedic surgeon the next time around. But it was small town Oklahoma. I'd never had an injury in my life, had no idea what I was about to deal with. And, going back to what I had said about understanding the process the second time around, it is so different. Like, it is daunting the first time, and it is lonely, and it's why a lot of athletes talk about being depressed and you're not around your team as much. It's such a different experience, and it's hard to explain if you haven't been through it. But then once you go through it once, fortunately, you know what to expect and how to go about it the next time around. So that's why you also hear a lot of times when you hear athletes say they come off a serious injury and then they come back to it and unfortunately have another one, they at least know how to go about it and attack it. Allison Weidner has been one of those that has said that hey, I was able to handle it a lot better the second time around, unfortunately, fortunately. So There you go.
Right. Well, we want to talk some volleyball next hour. John Cook, Lindsey Krause, and Kennedy Orr. We're in Chicago representing the Huskers at Big Ten Media Days. We'll play you some clips from the coach. He had some interesting things to say, as he always does. We'll have that coming up in the second hour, and a conversation with another guy that's been hurt, but back for Husker football in DeShon Singleton. And you're going to be trying to put together a new dig with Lauren Cook-West, right, later this week?
Yes. So if anybody has any questions that you want me to dive into with Lauren, any refreshers on anything or any specific X's and O's questions, we are recording tomorrow. We will get that in the works. And so I got a pretty good list, a pretty solid list. Greg, you gave me one to ask her. She liked that question. So I sent her a few of them. She liked them. And so if you have any other suggestions, let us know, because I feel like, with the growing sport, a lot of times you have new fans that might have questions on how things go for certain sports, and it's just a learning process. So if you have any questions that you want to dive into with Lauren, let us know. Send us a text, and we'll try to work those in tomorrow.
Fantastic. She'll be on the program later in the week as well. All right, 1 hour down. That was a fast one. We got another one to go. We'll talk some volleyball from Chicago and DeShon Singleton, all in hour number 2. Don't go away. Come on back with it.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Good evening. I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Last night, the Nebraska women's soccer team defeated Kansas City 5-1 in their first exhibition game. Abby Schwartz had 2 goals. Sarah Weber, Florence Belzile, and Abby Vosick each added a goal in the win. The Huskers traveled to Oklahoma for a Friday night exhibition against the Sooners later this week. Plenty of Olympics news and notes for today. Let's start with news concerning former Huskers. The U.S. women's volleyball team swept Poland to advance to the semifinals today. Jordan Larson had 3 kills and a block. Kelsey Robinson-Cook added a kill, and Justine Wangarantes added 14 digs. In men's basketball, Australia fell to Serbia 95-90 in overtime, despite a solid game from Jack McVeigh. McVeigh had 13 points on 5 of 8 shooting, including 3 for 5 from three-point range, to go along with 2 rebounds and 2 assists in 30 minutes. The U.S. women's soccer team defeated Germany 1-0 in extra time today to advance to the gold medal game on Saturday against Brazil. U.S. sprinter Gabby Thomas took home the gold medal today in the 200 meters with a time of 21.83 seconds, and American underdog Cole Hawker won gold in the 1500-meter race today. And finally, the U.S. men's basketball team defeated Brazil 122-87 to advance to the semifinals, where they will play Serbia. Devin Booker led the team with 18 points, and Anthony Edwards had 17 points off the bench. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call a timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Heinrich gonna step in back, little G-belly action. There's a man wide open. It's Jalen Lloyd. The throw, he makes a catch. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Nebraska serving specialist Kennedy sends it over Vasquez Gomez. Perfect pass, set it up. Fairbanks diving, take Laney Choboy. Bumps it left Nebraska. Harper, and nearly drops. Free ball back. Oh, a block back by Becca, and that nearly drops. And a free ball finally over, block back by Becca, and it does. Becca Alec, she's putting on a blocking clinic. They can't get it over.
Bryce Williams puts his head down, cut off by good defense by Mbako. Now up top it comes to Mast. Mast dribbles once, gives it back to Williams, shoots a 3 on the way. Got it again! Another 3. Williams on fire.
Jazz Shelley, who has electrified this crowd. She'll take a 28-footer. You betcha! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She ends the first quarter in triple style.
Ball's at a strike here on Gabe Swanson, the pitch. Hit pretty well towards left center field. Going back on it is Graves. Graves at the wall, and it's gone again! Swanson's gone deep again! Gabe with his second solo shot of the game.
Billy swings and crushes this one to the moon. Left center and gone. No doubt on that one. 3-1 Nebraska.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Back for hour number 2, Tuesday night show here on the Huskers Radio Network. Hope you had a great day today. I just flipped on the primetime coverage. They're going to recap that soccer victory from today for Team USA, and then some of the track action. I think they're done in the pool. Is that right?
Yes, they're done.
The swimming's over.
That was, I believe, was it Sunday? I think was the last day. So it's like I said, we talked about this. It's like for the first chunk of the Olympics, it's swimming, and then the last chunk of the Olympics, it's track and field. So. Lots of track and field from here on out, but swimming is done. Sad, sad.
I know. You're sad about that, but what a great run. The U.S. had some good performances. Maybe not quite as good on the gold medal side as they thought they would get there, but they did have a great run. They won the most medals of any country in the pool. Australia was a distant second there. Well, it was buzzing in Chicago today, day number 2 of the Big Ten Media Day. This is year 3 for that. What a great job by the league to put this together with how important volleyball is to the Big Ten Conference, and it's going to get even more so, I think, with the addition of the 4 schools. So John Cook had a chance at the big podium to talk about some things today. And we'll start with you got a question about what's your biggest unknown about your team as you get ready to embark on the season?
What's really on my mind right now is how are we going to better our skills from last year. So how are we going to become a better serving team, better passing team? We broke down in the finals last year. There's other times we broke down. So how are we going to get better in those areas? So that's going to be the focus right now. And then bringing 4 new players into our culture. And every year's team is a little bit different. So how are we going to integrate those guys, and how is that going to work? And but really paying attention to the little things. That's going to be a major focus for me. And so that's where we're going to start. And then also getting them to understand how much competition there's going to be this year. Non-conference, conference. I mean, it is going to be, every match is going to be a very challenging match in different ways. So our schedule's all over the place. We play every night, every day but Monday of the week. The month of November, if you've looked at our schedule, we have 7 road games and 3 home games. That's going to be tough in the month of November. We have some other challenging matches we're working on, and our non-conference is going to be very challenging. So we got to get them to understand what this is about and how tough and challenging it's going to be. But we want that to bring out the best in us. That's going to be the talk.
Greg, he had talked about the serving and receiving and the little things and improving those skill set. And it's a little bit like what we had heard from Satterfield, right, the other day about if you turn the ball over, you're not going to play. And so I feel like probably with as much competition as they have, that if you're not doing things that you need to do and those little things, then, hey, there's somebody behind you that's going to be trying to do those little things better than you and take that spot. So iron sharpens iron, as we hear that saying often, but it is, that's the difference between winning a national championship and not winning a national championship are those things that he pointed out. And it's also a really tough schedule, as he talked to. Lauren and I chatted about that a lot the other day about some of the back-to-backs, and then they're never scared to schedule the toughest teams in the country there in the non-conference, even before playing in the toughest conference in the country. So it's once again going to be a lot of challenges on the schedule from really start to finish.
Yeah, they don't duck really anybody at all throughout the year. Well, this is a good segue into the next question. It was asked of John about adding the 4 teams from the West Coast. Is that going to help you even more getting prepared for the NCAA tournament?
I don't know if I've figured that out yet. We've played these teams in the tournament or in non-conference before, so it's adding 4 more great teams. And you're not playing everybody twice. I think there's only 3 teams we play twice. So there's a lot of big matches because you're only going to play that team once. And so that is going to, I think, create even more of an intensity and pressure to beat that team. And it just raises the level of competition. But we've been seeing the level of competition go up across the board for years now in volleyball and specifically the Big Ten. There's no easy nights in the Big Ten, and that's something we learned quite a while ago.
Yeah, just the magnitude of every single match in the Big Ten. And then not to mention, Nebraska's going to get everybody's best, right? Typically they're playing, they've got the whoever they're playing on the road, it's the biggest crowd that they've had in however many years or maybe even ever. And then every team wants to beat Nebraska, so you get everybody's best. It's just, it's a gauntlet night in and night out. And I think that's why you saw them so refreshed once they got to the NCAA tournament, because it's like, thank goodness we're out of the Big Ten. But you got to bring your best every single night, and then but it prepares you for a deeper run. Well, it could also you could also be pretty drained and gassed by the time you get there, but usually it prepares you for any and everything you're going to face in the NCAA tournament.
You go to Purdue, they want to win bad. You go to Indiana to play them, they want to beat you bad. You go to Penn State, Minnesota, on and on down. You're exactly right. Nebraska's got the big check on their chest. People want to knock off the big dog, and Nebraska's the big dog in this league, along with Wisconsin, obviously. They've been equally as good as well. But, yeah, you're going to get everybody's best shot night in and night out when you step out on the court. Well, the Huskers came up one match short of a national title last December, losing to Texas in the championship game. The coach was asked, has that loss helped motivate this team as they prepare for this season?
Well, anytime you don't play your best, it sticks with you. And it's something we've talked a little bit about. I think it's all in our minds. You guys bring it up, so it's out there. But I framed it for them as the other night is, we should be the most motivated team in the country.
Yeah, I think that's what stung so much. I was there, and I remember just how the looks on all the faces when they were coming out, and it wasn't like, oh, we lost. You could just tell they were disappointed that they didn't give it their best shot. I think it just would have been, as Coach Cook said, we didn't play our best, and so it might have been an easier pill to swallow had you given it your best shot, but they knew that they didn't have their best match, and so that's what makes it you're so close, and then you don't have your best when you step out there on that. And I think that certainly left a bad taste in the mouth just from the conversations that I've had with some of the assistant coaches, with the dig, and then also the players. And even, the Skylar Pierce, when she came in here and talked about joining this locker room and, how motivated this team was from the start and bringing those freshmen in and understanding, hey, we got business to take care of, and this is what you're joining. And so, yeah, I think it absolutely. How could it not if you're a competitor and you're on this level, and that's what you play for, is to win a national title a lot of times, especially at a program like Nebraska. And, to be so close, how could it not put a little fuel to the fire going into this season?
Nobody on this roster has won a national title. None of the seniors have. They've been close. They've been in the national championship game, but they've not won. They've not hung the big banner, and that's got to be motivating. That senior class in particular, the Lindsey Krauses and the Lexi Rodriguez's, they want to walk out of here with a national championship banner. They get one more crack at it here in 2024. Well, John Cook was asked about, has he been able to stay locked into the Olympics? 3 members of the Husker alumni are on the United States team this year. He had a funny retort to that.
Well, this is the 3rd year in a row we've had 3 players out of the 12 on the Olympic team. So it's a great testament and reinforcement for what we're doing at Nebraska to prepare these players to play on what is literally the biggest stage for volleyball in the world. I'm in the tank a little bit because Jordan laid into me last week because I didn't go to Paris. And I'm like, Jordan, I'm the Grand Marshal at the Burwell Rodeo. I cannot go to Paris. So she was a little, she's never ever said, this is her 4th Olympics. She's never said anything to me about not going. So, but really proud of those guys. And it's, people really don't understand how hard it is to make an Olympic team because it's 12 players that get selected, and it's a very tough process to go through and very competitive. And so it's a great testament for Nebraska volleyball.
Oh, that's hilarious. First of all, I do want to say, again, just with Taylor Landfair and then Layla Blackwell and them coming in, and Taylor told me the other day when we chatted with her about that is her goals and aspirations, is to one day maybe play on that stage. And so it obviously helps when you can say, hey, the proof is in the pudding. We get our players ready for these biggest stages. And so I think that's why a lot of the elite are not afraid of that competition, because they want to be pushed. They want to get to be their best selves so that they can, strive for those extra things, those things beyond collegiate volleyball. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the Grand Marshal, that might be, I think he is writing Rev in it, from if I understand.
Was it last weekend? It might have already happened.
Oh, it already happened. Okay,
I think it did already happen, but I'll check that. But I think, I saw some pictures. Maybe I'm wrong, but somebody in the audience will certainly know. But that's a legitimate reason, right? It has to be a Grand Marshal. You can't miss that.
Yeah, and because I was in the studio when they were recording the last Kicking Back with the Cooks, and I'm pretty sure he talked about that, getting Rev ready to be the, in the parade and the Grand Marshal. So, big deal with the naming and the big time horse with the contract. So it was a big deal for him to be the Grand Marshal with this horse. So it's I feel like that's a legitimate excuse.
Yeah, no doubt. And Team USA, by the way, won their quarterfinal match today. They swept Poland. They're into the semifinals, so they're into the medal round at the Olympic Games. We wish them the best of luck as they wrap up their performances over in Paris. All right, 402-413-2400, the number if you have a thought, comment about Husker volleyball or anything that we've been talking about on the program here tonight. When we come back, Jessica will sit down and chat with DeShon Singleton, who was out during the spring, missed the end of last season with an injury. How's he doing? How's one of those guys with a single-digit number doing in fall camp here in 2024? We'll have that conversation next.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Plus, 96% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Longevity based on Experian automotive vehicles in operations versus total new registrations for model years 2023 to 2022 as of December 2022.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TL Irrigation are like no other.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Tuesday night. Huskers practice earlier today. There was immediate availability after today's practice, focusing more on the defense. We heard from Terrence Knight and John Butler. Also heard the unfortunate news from Matt Rural that Teddy Prohaska has torn his ACL and is out for the year, really hurting the depth at the tackle position for the Cornhuskers. Boy, injuries are just part of it, and you hate to hear any of that. Don't have to tell that to DeShon Singleton. He got hurt last year during the season, did not participate in spring football, but is back and has been cleared to do everything here in the fall. Jessica caught up with him earlier today.
Well, how's it going? How does it feel to be back out there for you?
Man, it feels amazing. I just thank God for allowing me to be out there with my team. And, you know what I'm saying? It's just even special for me to be out there now. So,
they had talked about wanting to take it so with you and not push it and make sure that you were fully healthy. But how was that? How hard was that in the spring, sitting back and waiting for you to be fully healthy?
It was hard. I was really just eager and anxious to be out there with the guys, and it just it affected me, but it was just like I just gotta take my time, heal, and I'll be even better summer, fall. So that's how I felt.
How much did you learn just being in that role and being in that position where last season you get hurt in the middle of the season, but then having that different perspective? A lot of athletes say it kind of gives them a different view of the game. How much did you learn being in that situation?
I learned as far as a coaching standpoint, I just learned what the ins and outs of everything. I just learned, it's not just playing on the field, it's really what happens around it. And I just really learned from a coach's perspective, why do they install this, why do they install that? Does this work for run, does this work for pass? And it really helped me with my game mentally.
So how did you go about then coming off that injury and getting right to where you wanted to be going into this season?
Man, I just had to trust in God and just work, to be honest. I just had to grind through everything, not be too eager to rush anything, and just embrace the process, and just work on that.
You played such a huge role, and I know this defense missed you when you went out last year, but those few games that you played, what'd you learn? What were you trying to build off of here going into this season throughout that experience that you had last year?
I'm just trying to be better than last year. That's all I'm trying to do. And that's really it, to be honest.
What goes into that? What are some of those things in your game that you really want to improve?
What I really want to improve? I just want to improve, what can I say? I say my press coverage right now. I'm trying to get the looking at body tendencies and stuff like that, the receivers again, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been away from that for 11 months now, so it's I just got to get used to that, the feel of everything, and body tendencies, to be honest.
Yeah. How has it been, speaking of the wide receivers, matching up with these wide receivers that Nebraska has? There's some talent in that room, right?
Yeah, they're very talented. I mean, it's good. I feel like it's good work. We compete one-on-ones. We doing all that, so I feel great.
Coach Butler, what's it been like working with him and getting to know him?
I mean, he's a great guy. He's very technical, coming from the league, coming here to college, he really brings that to the table here, and he's just very technical, very fast-paced with everything, I like it.
How do you feel more settled into this defense, being now that it's year 2 with Tony White and the staff?
I feel confident in the defense now, you know what I'm saying? And it's just that since he's staying and the defense is, not too many people left, now it's just we feel faster, we playing more freer, and I feel very confident what we might do this season.
Every defensive coach, player has talked about last year was last year. We want to be better. How motivated is this defense to be one of the best in the country, if not the best in the country?
Right. We just got to prove ourselves again. That's what we're motivated for. And not a lot of things went our way last year, but we're just trying to prove ourselves this year. And that's what we're really motivated from, to win.
the physicality that you like to bring. Why is that such a big part of your game? Where does that come from?
It started when I was 4 years old. My daddy, my first year out biddy, and I went head up against the guy. He ran me over. I'm crying. My dad said, shoot, we could leave or you got to go out there and hit him again. And I went and hit him again. And after that, it's been that.
That's awesome. Just how much do you enjoy that part of it? When you do get to lay down a big hit and set that tone for the guys around you.
And I just love how my teammates react to it. You know what I'm saying? I get to celebrate with them. It brings a different energy, and it just allows everybody else to play without fear and play fast. You know what I'm saying? I like to spark a light with the defense. It don't matter about everybody else. It's about us. You know what I'm saying? So that's it.
Okay, so you're a veteran guy. There's some other veteran guys, Tommy Hill, but tell us about some of the younger players and how they've been in progressing and what they will add to this defense.
They look good. They're really developing, and I can't wait to see what they do, you know what I'm saying, after and through their career, because, I mean, it's a lot of young guys that hasn't really got a lot of snaps yet, and I really like to see what they become, and they're doing very good right now, though.
Overall, just the secondary, how do you feel about the group? And lots put on you guys in this defense. How do you feel about where you guys are right now and where you're headed?
I feel like we're good. We headed to a winning season. That's what I feel like. And we have great chemistry. All of us played together for a long time. And I just, secondary is going to be good this year. So.
Got a single digit last year. What did that mean to you, and how has that been progressing into even a bigger leadership role this year?
It meant a lot to me because it's not just me picking a number. It's how my team felt about me and choosing me to have that number. So I have to represent it right. You know what I'm saying? I have to represent the team right. And so it's very special to me, and I hold it to my heart for real. And I won't take it for granted. So, yeah.
How has that been to being one of the older guys in the room and being one of the leaders of that group?
I just got to be a mentor now. You know, at the end of the day, I just got to bring those guys along. And as far as the older guys, we know what we have to do. We know our goals. We know our aspirations. And, and we just got to go out there and compete.
How have you seen you and those older guys come together and, hey, we want to be a player-led team, just the things that you want to do here? How have you guys come together in that and set those goals?
We're doing great. I mean, Isaac Gifford, Ty Robinson, they're doing a great job doing what they do, motivating the team, getting us right, getting us prepared for the season. And, they do a great job of that, and I feel confident in them.
Appreciate your time.
Appreciate you.
It was funny when he talked about he was 4 years old, he got hit, and his dad said, you better get out there and hit him again. And he said, ever since then, I just love the physicality. We have talked so much about DeShon Singleton on the sideline slice. Searles is not a big fan of defensive backs, but he loves him some DeShon Singleton because he isn't afraid to come up and lay down that big hit and be the physical presence back there. And we have said a lot about, when he left, I think this defense really missed his presence. Even though they were able to go on and continue to have a great season, they certainly missed his presence. And so, he's, I think, going to be another big piece to this defense coming up this season.
It was so odd, the timing last year. His injury happened, and then they got Marquise Buford back. So it's like, okay, you kind of take one out, but now to have both of them, I think could be pretty special for that safety spot. Plus, you put Gifford can play anywhere back there. I think the safety could be a strength of this team. I really do.
Yeah, I do too. And that's been a big topic of conversation with just about every person that covers this football team, is more so, I guess, how the cornerback situation is going to look, because you feel like you got a lot of good safeties with a lot of experience with, Marquise Buford and some of those guys that have played a lot of football that have proven themselves. So, but certainly DeShon Singleton is a guy you're confident in. And, I just remember going back to last year and how appreciative and thankful he was for how the staff really, because he's been here now for a few years, and he got really a lot more opportunity last year. And I think he is a guy that really has embraced that. And then it was devastating to see him on the sideline when he got hurt, but I think he'll come back better for it, and he'll be appreciative, and I think he's a tone setter and embraces that role and will continue to do so moving forward.
Folks in the chat, Jess, are going, when are we going to hear more about single-digit numbers? Are you hearing anything about some more of those getting passed out? I know we don't have a ton of them left, but there's still a handful, right?
From what I understand, the guys that had them last year will keep them. So
Okay.
DeShon was a single-digit guy, so he will be back with that. But there are 5 available. I think it's 1, 3, 4. So 1 was Billy Kemp, 3, 4 was Nick Henrich, Luke Reimer.
Right.
6 and 7 was Quentin Newsome and Jeff Sims. So there's 5 available. To me, I think Jamari Butler's got one locked up completely. I don't know. And then there's a handful of other guys that I think very well could be more than just maybe the 4 other right there that I think people will be vying for. But I don't know when. Maybe soon. I don't know, within the next week or so, we might have an unveiling of a batch. Last year, you remember, but it was the first year, so there was several that they were passing out. This year, we will only hear 5 new of those single-digit numbers. So I don't know if they'll maybe do 2 and then 3, if they'll do 1. I don't know. I don't know if they have a plan of how they're going to unveil those, or if they're going to do it all together. But I would imagine it will be pretty soon, because you also have to think you got to get those guys shot for the intro video,
Right.
All the other things that come along with playing in college football these days. You got to get them pretty soon. So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it was fairly soon.
The big intrigue for me is, what do you do with QB1? Because last year's QB1 coming out of camp was Jeff Sims. He got one. I kind of feel like you're going to go a single digit for QB1 this year, unless that QB doesn't want a single digit number.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe Dylan has said that he really wants to hold on to 15, but I also know that he's a big-time team guy, and if his team votes him to be a single digit, I could see him letting go of that 15 to be able to be a single digit. So I also don't know if they will give it to a freshman, if he is it. If Heinrich absolutely would be single digit, I think, but if he was one of those guys, but I don't know. Like I said, I mean, I think Jamari Butler is the shoe-in. The other 4 is going to be fascinating to see which 4 guys get those other 4 numbers.
Totally agree. Well done. All right, 402-413-2400. That's the number if you want to be on the program with a phone call or a text. We're back with more of the show coming up next.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore, with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Plus, 96% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Longevity based on Experian automotive vehicles in operations versus total new registrations for model years 2023 to 2022 as of December 2022.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here. I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir. Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln. Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TL Irrigation are like no other.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Plus, 96% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Longevity based on Experian Automotive Vehicles and Operations versus total new registrations for model years 2023 to 2022 as of December 2022.
Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Art in Los Angeles want to know if the top 25 for college volleyball is out yet. It is not, Art. That usually comes out middle of the month, so I think we're still about 10 days away from that coming out. Have you been following? There's a big tropical storm, Jessica, that hit Florida, and now it's kind of going up the coast, up on South Carolina. I would not want to live through one of those. I know people think we're crazy with tornadoes around here, but these tropical storms can hang around for days and weeks, and damage is incredible. But it's called Debbie. Coastal Carolina's football team, which is right there on that coastline of South Carolina, they were having to move their practice to Raleigh, North Carolina for a couple days to get some practice in because their fields are flooded, and they're supposed to get up maybe to 30 inches of rain. And it always, every year, messes with a college football weekend or two where a bunch of games get canceled or moved because of the hurricane or a tropical storm. So I hope those people are all right. But, man, I just don't think I'd want to live through one of those things. Yeah, I know. It's kind of funny because everywhere else across the country, like the Floridians probably say, oh, I wouldn't want to do tornadoes and all of that and the snowstorms. But I'm with you. We had, when we were there for the volleyball Final Four national title game, there was a pretty big storm that came in, and my mom and I were up. I mean, we were on one of the high floors, and it sounded scary, but we were, they had just had one that hit, and they were still trying to work through some of the damages that it caused and the flooding that it caused. And so, yeah, I'm with you. I would not want to have to deal with that on a regular basis. Yeah, just crazy stuff that, and you're right. They all make fun of us. We couldn't do your winter time. And I'm like, I don't want to sit down here and get blown away by a hurricane and lose power for 2 weeks and all that stuff. Pitbull. You guys are big. I'm sure Camden's a big Pitbull fan. He is buying the naming rights to the Florida International Football Stadium. He's written a check for it, wants his name on the stadium, and they're going to take the money and run. So Pitbull, rapper, for some of you folks out there that may not know, is going to have a stadium named after him. It's going to be called Pitbull Stadium. How about that? That's kind of cool. Pitbull Stadium. I like it. I like it. That's awesome. Coming to you tonight from Pitbull Stadium. How about that? Did they say how much it cost him to do that? I think it was $1 million a year for 10 years. Oh. Pretty good money.
Yeah, but that's also not very expensive either. What would that cost at a Nebraska or Pitt State or
way more than that.
USC a year, you know?
Way more than that. Well, I don't know if you had a chance to see the men's basketball team today, but they were pretty good. 122-87 over Brazil. LeBron was really good. I guess even Joel Embiid played well for Team USA. I kind of doubted this team a little bit, but they're playing better as this tournament goes on. I do think they're going to win the gold now.
Yeah, they just look. I mean, kind of what we had talked about right when they first got going. They were playing these exhibition games, and they looked kind of sloppy, kind of rusty. But a lot of it's figuring out how to play together. You know, these are the best of the best in the world. They're used to being their team's #1 guy, and so how do you make it all fit together? And I think Dwayne Wade has done a great job as the analyst and breaking down some of that because he's been part of Team USA and how much that is a process and figuring that out. And they normally, play their best basketball towards the end of this tournament because they have figured all of that out. Now, what is going to be incredible is if it's France against USA in the finals. Because they're on opposite sides of the bracket.
Yep.
But with Wemby playing and the French fans have been incredible throughout the Olympics. Anytime someone from France competing for Team France at any of the events is out there, they go bonkers. And so if it is USA versus France, that will provide for an epic atmosphere.
No question. U.S. will play Serbia. They've already played them once in the tournament. That'll be their semifinal. In France, an 82-73 winner over Canada will face Germany. 76-63 over Greece in the semifinals. The quarterfinals for the women will get going tomorrow. So we're kind of wrapping up the team sports. Volleyball is now to the semifinal round. Gave you the medal count last hour about how the United States has really opened up the medal count. 86 total medals for Team USA to 59 for China as they have started to really rock away with that. And now the U.S. has the lead in the golds, 24-22. So good stuff by Team USA over in Paris. And you're right, the crowds have been amazing. The next Olympic Games, the summer ones, are in L.A. You got to believe it's going to be amazing out there. I think because Paris is such a great travel destination, a lot of people go, I'll go there. We'll sightsee, go to some Olympic sporting events.
The Eiffel Tower.
I think that certainly helps.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, the Eiffel Tower?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great destination spot, probably more so. Not every destination for the Summer or Winter Olympics is that, but I think Paris certainly is one of those just because it's, I'm sure, a bucket list item for a lot of people. And then, hey, let's go to the Olympics. I did want to circle back and what you had said about, China and their medal count, but there was some drama really surrounding the swimming team going into the Olympics. I listened to this fascinating podcast that they had talked about. China had actually tested positive for an illegal drug, illegal substance, several members of their swimming team. And they just, the United States swimmers went and testified for Congress. And Michael Phelps was one of those guys, and he was talking about how much he had to get tested throughout that entire time that he was dominating and how much blood he had to give. And that, I mean, it takes it out of you. But, with the IOC and how they can't manage everybody, so they leave it up to the individual countries. And so the United States is one of the ones that's really strict, and they test a ton, but China isn't. And so, the USA men had won the medley relay. Basically, since the start of the Olympics, since it became an Olympic event, they had never lost. The USA men, it was their event, and they ended up losing to China. And 2 of those 4 swimmers were 2 of the swimmers that were part of the group that tested positive for that illegal substance. So it kind of caused some drama there. And I don't know how you can fix it though, because there's no way that you can have one federation oversee everything. They've got to rely on the individual countries, and it's the same thing with Russia in the Winter Olympics, right? And the Olympian that won the gold, the figure skater, she tested positive for an illegal substance, but yet she still got to keep her gold. It's so different, but I think it does I think you have to put a little bit of an asterisk by that, because I don't know if 2 of those 4 guys should have been competing. It's
got to be one of the most challenging things for the IOC, because you're right. Some countries do a lot of testing to make sure their athletes are good, and some countries look the other way. And winning is above cheating. And so if we have to bend the rules, get some illegal substance, we're going to do it. We'll try to mask it, and so that it doesn't be detected when they do get tested at the Olympic Games. It's got to be a tough thing. But athletes have been doing it for decades, trying to skirt the system, and by using illegal drugs. It's a tough, tough thing.
Yeah. I think for the United States case, it was more so because the United States is not going to be able to monitor all the other countries or go say, hey, we got to do things differently, but just maybe figuring out how they can not be such a demand on the United States athletes, specifically the Michael Phelps of them. It seemed like he was getting tested a lot just because of what his stature in the sport, and so being more cognizant of that and not overdoing it with those big-time athletes just because they're doing something remarkable doesn't mean they need to be tested that much. It needs to just be more fair and equal, I think, is what they were getting at.
Track and field would probably be the biggest, right, with the sprinters and the throwers. I mean, all those are looking for that little bit of an advantage to make the difference. And we saw it in the 100-meter dash. That much of an advantage might have made the difference between being on the podium and finishing last in your heat. So track's had years of battling illegal substances. Swimming, they have it too. And then, there are just other things that happen in the sports world. But what is the old saying from Talladega Nights to Will Ferrell? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, or something like that. Something like that. Cannon probably knows the answer to that. All right, need to step aside, get a break in. 402-413-2400. We're back to wrap the show up next.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you can use that money towards going to see your favorite team in the playoffs. Progressive cannot guarantee that you can go see your favorite team in the playoffs. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, but we cannot guarantee that your favorite team will make the playoffs or even finish with a winning record. They could easily lose more than half their games and finish in the cellar because they stink badly and haven't made the playoffs in years. Savings, very possible. Playoffs, highly doubtful. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates, not available in all states. We cannot be held liable for your favorite team's terrible and frankly embarrassing performances now or ever.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting Major Connor Clark with Campus News. For the 7th straight year, the University of Nebraska system is a top 100 patent-earning institution in the world. NU researchers were granted 46 patents in 2023, ranking the university at number 55 nationally, ahead of Big Ten schools like Michigan State and Penn State.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Final few minutes of our Tuesday show. You've been finding more during the break on the Chinese cheating scandal from the Olympics and some pretty strong words from a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, these are the headlines. Olympic swimmers speak out about Chinese doping, and Britain's Adam Peaty says they should be out. China's swimmers' Olympic win shadowed by doping scandal. China's swimming victories marred by criticism. I mean, this is all over every single news outlet. So the New York Post actually put one out. Michael Phelps has been one of those that have been very critical of, the Chinese and going into these Olympic Games because they did test positive. It came out going into the Olympic Games in Paris. And so there's this article in the New York Post that interviewed him, but They said 9 swimmers who tested positive for a banned substance ahead of the Olympics in Tokyo have won medals in this year's games in Paris. And so Michael Phelps said, if you test positive, you should never be allowed to come back and compete again, cut and dry, said in a press availability on Monday. I believe one and done. In total, 23 Chinese swimmers tested positive for a banned substance before the Tokyo Games, and it was only acknowledged publicly by the World Anti-Doping Agency and World Aquatics after it came out in the media this year. But yeah, like I said, I mean, a lot of those medals that you're talking about came in the pool, and a lot of these swimmers were swimmers that were connected to that. So it's been a big controversy because, again, going back to the Sunday, the final day of swimming, the Chinese knocked off the American in a race that's belonged to Team USA for years and years and years. And there were swimmers on that relay team that were connected to it. So, yeah, it's been a pretty big deal. And over the last couple of days since swimming ended, it's been a lot of criticism from swimmers really around the world, not just in the United States.
Yeah, it's good to see it wasn't just from Phelps. You said PD from Great Britain and other places as well. I don't know that I'd go as far as a lifetime ban for cheating, but maybe the next games you're out. And for most athletes, that's probably it anyway.
Yeah.
So if you just ban them from the next Olympic Games, most of them are going to hang around for 8 years to come back and get in a crack at it. I'll tell you kind of another cheating type thing I'm kind of tired of. It's the Michigan scandal. I mean, I kind of feel like Michigan, when they suspended Harbaugh for those games last year, I kind of feel like that story ought to be over, but I know there's some still people on that staff that maybe were involved in that, but I kind of feel like they paid their penalties. Maybe everybody else disagrees, but Sharon Moore, their current head coach, I think they've got him kind of locked into this thing too, but I'm kind of tired of it. I think we should move on from it.
Well, yeah, and now it wouldn't even be an issue.
Right, because of communication in the helmets.
Yeah, so a lot of the things that were a problem are not as big of a problem anymore. So, it's been a lot, and I know people probably just want to target Michigan all the time, but I'm over it. Harbaugh's gone. Let's move on,
Move on.
Yeah.
Yep, that's kind of what I think, too. All right, tomorrow night on the program, Jess had a chance to talk to John Butler, the new defensive backs coach. We'll have that for you tomorrow night. Also, you had a chance to catch up with another new member for Fred Hoiberg's basketball team, correct?
Yes, I chatted with Braxton Mia today, and I went back and listened to when we had Coach Hoiberg on the show, and he said that in his time coaching, he's never had a player like Braxton Mia, and just what he provides to a basketball team. He's physical. He's a rim protector. He called himself actually a defensive anchor, and so he takes a lot of pride in that. But then I was reading up on him before the interview. I sat down and talked to him, and in 2023, or like the season before last, he was leading the nation in dunks, and so I think you're going to see, he was one of the leaders in the nation in dunks. So a lot of alley-oops, a lot of high-flying, putbacks, slamming down putbacks. I think he's going to provide some sparks, but how many times does a huge block ignite something in a crowd and on a team? And so his defensive prowess as a rim protector, 7-footer, which I know we've had a lot of people wanting a 7-footer. You got one, and I think he's going to provide a lot to this team, on both ends. But I think he's, especially on the defensive end, going to be really, really big for this team.
Good. We'll look forward to that conversation tomorrow night here on the program. A lot more Olympic coverage tomorrow as well. No football availability. We won't get a chance to hear from anybody from football until after their Friday practice, so we'll have a couple days that we will not have football availability, but we will let you listen to Jess's conversation with John Butler tomorrow night here on the show. Camden, great work as always. Made you really hump it today with all those cuts we played from John Cook and from all of our football coaches today. Excellent job as always. And all of you, thank you for tuning in here on a Tuesday night. We'll do it again tomorrow. Enjoy the Olympic Games. Good night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? No way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
See shelter agents Jeff Bond or Reed Duvall in Lincoln, or Agent Victoria Watkins in Nebraska City.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you.